Episode 22, Shadows in the Veil. The bond with Elias Ward lingered in the air like a faint, chilling mist. His spectral guidance imbued Evelyn and Eli with a sense of purpose, yet it carried a weight they could not ignore, a constant reminder that their souls now bore the marks of the pact. The trio, Evelyn, Eli, and Clara, gathered around Clara's kitchen table later that evening. The glow of a single lantern illuminated the worn parchment Elias had conjured before fading back into the sanctum. It detailed the locations of the remaining sanctums, scattered like forgotten shards across Black Hollow. "There are 3 more," Evelyn murmured, tracing her finger over the map. "Each connected to one of the keepers who made the pact. If the silent circle gets to them first," Clara interjected, her voice grim, "they'll destroy the balance entirely. The seals will break, and the darkness will escape, not just from Black Hollow, but into the world." Eli nodded, his face set. "We won't let it happen." "Where's the nearest sanctum?" Evelyn studied the map closely. "Here," she said, pointing to a spot near the town's edge. "The Silver Vale Forest. It's the one Elias marked as Loria's refuge." Clara's expression darkened at the name. Loria was one of the strongest keepers. She was known for her deep connection to the natural world. If her sanctum is in Silver Vale, it'll be well hidden. They prepared for the journey without hesitation. The forest loomed beyond the town like a shadow given life, its towering trees tangled in a web of darkness. Clara insisted on bringing protective charms, their faint glow reassuring against the encroaching gloom. As they stepped into the forest, the air changed. It grew heavy, damp, and unnaturally cold, carrying an almost suffocating silence. The trees seemed to lean toward them, their twisted branches clutching at the faint light filtering through the canopy. "This place is alive," Eli said, his voice barely above a whisper. "More than you realize," Clara replied. Loria's sanctum was designed to merge with the forest. The spirits of the trees themselves guard it. The deeper they ventured, the stranger the forest became. The path beneath their feet shifted, twisting back on itself as if trying to disorient them. Shadows danced in their periphery, whispering unintelligible words that set their nerves on edge. "Stay close," Evelyn warned, clutching the pendant Clara had given her. Its glow wavered like a candle in the wind, but it provided just enough light to guide its way. As they pressed on, they came across a clearing dominated by an ancient tree, its gnarled trunk wide enough to house a small cabin. Its roots curled like massive claws around a stone altar half buried in the earth. "This must be it," Clara whispered, her voice tinged with awe and trepidation. Evelyn stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the altar. Symbols etched into the stone pulsed faintly, resonating with a rhythm that felt disturbingly alive. She placed her hand on the altar, and an icy sensation shot through her, filling her mind with fragmented visions. A woman standing beneath the tree, her arms outstretched as the forest swirled with energy, a flash of light, and then darkness. Suddenly, the air around them shifted. The clearing grew darker, the shadows deepening into shapes, tall, humanoid figures with hollow eyes and elongated limbs. "Wraiths," Clara hissed, pulling out a charm. "They're the forest's guardians." The figures moved closer, their skeletal hands reaching out, their hollow eyes fixed on the trio. Evelyn clutched the pendant tighter, willing its light to push them back. "We mean no harm," she called out, her voice steady despite the fear clawing at her chest. "We're here to awaken Loria." The wraiths paused, their forms wavering like smoke. For a moment, the clearing was still, but then a voice resonated through the air, a soft, melodic tone that carried an undeniable authority. "Why do you disturb my refuge?" A figure emerged from the base of the tree, her presence ethereal and commanding. Loria was tall and willowy, her translucent form shimmering with an emerald glow. Her eyes were piercing, and her expression was one of guarded curiosity. Evelyn stepped forward, her voice firm. "We need your help. The pact is in danger. The Silent Circle is trying to break the seals and unleash the darkness." Loria's gaze swept over them, her expression unreadable. "The pact was forged with great sacrifice. To disturb it is to invite ruin. Why should I trust you, mortals, with what I have protected for centuries? Elias's voice echoed faintly in Evelyn's mind, guiding her. Tell her the pact has already begun to weaken, she said. If we don't act now, the seals will break, and Black Hollow will fall. Loria's eyes narrowed, her form flickering. If what you say is true, then you have my attention. But to gain my trust, you must prove your resolve. The ground beneath them trembled, and the clearing shifted, revealing a network of roots that formed a narrow pathway leading into darkness. Loria gestured toward it. Within lies the core of my sanctum. If you are truly aligned with the pact, the sanctum will accept you. If not, she didn't finish, but the unspoken threat lingered. Without hesitation, Evelyn led the way, her pendant's glow flickering but steady. The path was treacherous, the air growing colder with each step. The whispers of the forest grew louder as if testing their resolve. Finally, they emerged into a cavernous space at the heart of the tree. In the center stood a pedestal holding a small, glowing orb, Loria's essence, bound to the sanctum. Evelyn stepped forward, her heart pounding. Loria, we're here to protect the pact. Guide us. The orb pulsed, and the cavern filled with a blinding light. For a moment, Evelyn felt weightless, her mind flooded with Loria's memories, the forging of the pact, the sacrifices made, and the forest's eternal vigil. When the light faded, Evelyn was back in the clearing, the orb now nestled in her hand. Loria stood before them, her expression softened. You have proven your resolve. My essence will aid you in your fight, but beware, the silent circle will not rest. They will come for the sanctums, and you. The wraiths retreated, their forms dissolving into the shadows as the clearing returned to its eerie stillness. Loria's figure began to fade as well, her voice lingering like a whisper in the wind. Guard the pact well, for it is all that stands between light and darkness. As they left the forest, the weight of the orb in Evelyn's hand was both reassuring and foreboding. They had secured Loria's sanctum, but the path ahead was darker than ever. Each step brought them closer to the silent circle, and the battle for Black Hollow's soul was far from over. End of episode 22.